Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are on this fine planet. This is Paul Raw coming at you today with another video review by a gentleman by the name of Neferkara Dessalines, if that's how you pronounce his name. I was introduced to this gentleman by the name of Somali Against Pan-Africanism. If you're listening, salute to you, my man. You know, I thought I'd stay on this guy's head for 2 hot seconds. I have other videos I need to review. One suggested by Somali Against Pan-Africanism. I'm going to get to it. But this guy, he struck a nerve with me in this video. So I decided to do a review of his review of Bucci. So yeah, man. Let's get to it. You see the clause, the fair use clause, fair use, fair use, fair use. So please do not strike me, or thou, Lord, shall strike you. So yeah, let's get to it, man. This dude, I'm just gonna get to it. Let's get to it. Hold on. Let me bring this bad boy up. To see, bam. Gonna make this quick as possible.
Back. Now today, man, we're going to be reviewing an interesting piece of content, right? We got this lady. She's got to be at least 50 years old. And she's a follower of Tariq Nasheed. Now, you know these people, they never want to claim Tariq Nasheed because deep down they know he a goofy. So they'll never outright claim, yeah, I'm a follower, I'm a supporter, I'm a subscriber. So even though they won't claim him for, I guess, shame or embarrassment, they'll regurgitate everything he says like a ventriloquist dummy. So it was an interesting debate, right?
For one, is ventriloquist. If you're going to be a smart ass, try to be a smart ass clearly. But let's get to it. Hey, you may say I may deny Tariq because I feel some type of shame. No, I did a video not too long ago in my cleanup series. I stated my case when it comes to Tariq. Tariq is pretty much liberation entertainment. That's all he is. He's funny. The nigga is funny. Do I agree with everything he says? No. Do I agree with some of the things he says? Yes. I can't lie. He says some good things. He says some bad things. For some of the shit I believe, some of the shit I don't believe. Some of the shit he says, I already know. And for what I don't know, I Google it. Sometimes he's right. Sometimes he's wrong. It's all about being fair and balanced. And honestly, when Tariq started to veer into the Pan-African Babylon, he would turn me off. And I would tune him out and just, peek my head back in once he got back into real life topics. So I judge him like I will judge any other human being, fair and balanced. So he would turn me off with the Pan-African babble, And there was one glimmer of hope which let me know he wasn't too far off into fantasy land with the Pan-African babble. A Caribbean lady called up and she ran the Caribicoon test that I've endured since childhood. And she called up and she asked Tariq, or she told Tariq actually, that, Black Americans are lazy. And, that's one of the Caribbean's tests to see if you're down with, going against your own people. And once she said, made the statement, Tariq immediately jumped on her head and said, hey, hold up. No, Black Americans aren't lazy. In fact, he reasoned with her that, you're just feeding into the media's depiction of Black American laziness. And he even tried to relate to her by saying, hey, if we were to believe everything the media said about Caribbeans, we would believe that you're lazy and all you do is sleep on the beach and smoke weed all day. And there's a reason Jamaicans are the face of marijuana. It's because it's been told to us through media that they smoke weed all day and drink Bahama Mamas, and that's it. And play reggae music. And the lady immediately, shut up and, went on her way. Tariq is quick to hang up on someone. So I don't know exactly what she did, but I'm sure he just brushed her off and she left. So I say all that to say that, no, I wasn't always into Tariq like that. I got into Tariq for the game. He was funny when he was spoke about relationships. Okay, let's be real about it. That's how he was introduced to us. And I think I said in my last video, I read his book, like I sped read through it, and none of it was like eye-opening. Everything he said in the book, I already knew, So I wasn't attracted to Tariq, through his book. I was attracted to Tariq through his, his podcast. I don't think you could call him podcast at that time, but I was entertained by his, his videos. And they were funny. I don't give a fuck what you say. You could call me slow. Yes, I need some slowness in my life to slow me down. I need some relief. I need comedy. We all do. Entertainment is a part of mankind. Even animals entertain themselves in some way. But that's neither here nor there. But I want to get that out of the way so you know this, just in case you hear this. I'm not one of these bumbling, babbling idiots who just listens to everything Tariq says and just regurgitates whatever he says. No. Stop trying to draw everybody down to stupid, ignorant. No one's ignorant, man. We just know certain things are real and certain things are unreal. So let's keep it going, man. I don't even know why I explain myself, but for this fucker, I like to make everything clear for his slow ass. Let's do this.
On the Brother Pan-Africanism Strikes Back's channel, a lady by the name JB joined the conversation, and they were talking about a variety of topics: foreign aid, reparations, economic teamwork, vertical integration. Now, I'm going to be reviewing a certain segment of the entire live stream that I thought was interesting, where it puts the Tariq Nasheed ideology on display, and it shows you that you really have to be someone with a very low understanding of geopolitics, history, and just how the world works to be sucked into this type of ideology. And that's why I always say intelligent black people within black society are not getting sucked into this nonsense. You're never going to find no JDs, no PharmDs, no PhDs. And I'm not saying that to insinuate that these things are a measure of intelligence. But when you...
Yes, you are. That's why you mentioned them, because your people are supposed to be highly educated, even though they get degrees from lower tier advanced or lower tier graduate programs or even lower tier schools, and you think that gives you some type of authority. That is why you mentioned it. And by the way, how could you even watch Bucci long enough to get a clip? Like, actually, you're saying that people are dumb for watching Tariq. I consider you dumb for listening to Bucci. Bucci is a dumb fat fuck from Long Beach who doesn't have shit else to do. Now, that's a dumb motherfucker. This motherfucker, I would even say that he most likely didn't graduate from high school. And that's not a knock to anyone who didn't graduate from high school. I say all that to say you just made it seem like people with advanced degrees are intelligent, but you're listening to a high school dropout. I put money on it because I graduated from high school in California. And there's like anybody in California knows the point plan, at least back in the days when I graduated. Like, they have these letters which you have to fulfill each letter, and each letter has a subset. So it's like, if you don't fulfill each letter, you can't graduate. Bucci obviously didn't fulfill all of those letters. And he looks like one of those people who did go to continuation school, because he may sound impressive to a lot of you people, because in California, there's a thing where, I can't lie, when I first moved out there, it was a different form of English. It was standard English mixed with slang, mixed with just it was just a different type of English. So he could sound persuasive to you, because here we go. He grew up in an environment where the Valley girl accent is common. And we all know that everyone has adapted that accent as a sign of intelligence, or everybody speaks that way now. Okay. Some people may say I sound that way, but that comes from me living in that environment. And that's not to say I sound anything like a Valley girl. I'm a dumb nigga from Brownsville. But what I am saying is Bucci may sound intelligent to the dumbasses because he grew up in an environment where you speak a certain way, and that's just what it is. I think Killer Mike said it best. He said that, California came into rap with what he called the country proper dialect, where it is common and is down homesy, but it's clearer. So for people like this idiot, Bucci sounds like most likely, persuasive. Even the way this guy sounds, he sounds like he's watched a lot of fucking media. So he's picked up the twang. I call it the nasal twang, if that makes any sense. So, and given, I'll tell you why I mean that too in the near future in this video. But he sounds like he's adapted that accent too. But just to get to it, why, or just to ask you, why do you watch Bucci? Why? It's a sign of lunacy. Let's go.
Examine a movement and you only see the dregs of society, the bottom feeders of society, the people who never got a higher education, the people working minimum wage jobs, the people who ain't doing much in their real life, attracted to a certain message, then that tells you a lot about not only the leader of the movement, but the followers of the movement and the substance behind the movement. So not wasting no time, man. I'm going to jump straight into the footage and I'm going to come in and out of my commentary. Let's go.
You're against Black people taking reparations, Black Americans taking reparations. But what about all the money that America sends over to Africa? Those are handouts. Those people aren't working for the money that taxpayers pay, and they contribute to what's being sent to Africa. I remember being in the 80s when they said when all the money was sent over to Africa, Feed Africa, AIDS for Africa, all that stuff. But no one seems to talk about that. Well, I mean, you talk about Black people trying to get handouts, but what about the handouts that America constantly send to Africa? And we're still, since the 80s, we have been sending, Michael Jackson has been singing We Are the World to help people in Africa. And that's since the 80s, and Africa still hasn't gotten their act together. And my thing is, some of these Africans come over here and they got the nerve to talk about Black Americans with all the money. We pay taxes with all the money that America has sent to help Africa. All these stars and stuff singing, trying to collect money to help the people in Africa. But you all are coming here and trying to put down Black people for trying to get some money. A little bit of kibbles and bits. It's a lot less than what they sent to Africa. A little bit of money for reparation.
Now, the reason why I said she had to be at least 50 years old is because she's recalling memories from back in the 80s. Like, I wasn't even walking around on the earth back in the 80s, bro. I wasn't even around in the early 90s. So you already know, bro, she at least 50. She pushing 50, because if you were a young girl and you remember what Michael Jackson was doing back in the 80s, listen, you were elder. You are elder. But that goes back to what I say. Some of the people in my comment section, they take offense when I say certain things about the elders or the old heads. But you got to understand, bro, in North America, bro, like, the same rules do not apply. Like,
okay, let's pause it right there. Yeah, she's OG. I'm OG. Yes, we remember We Are the World. Or that's the name of the song. We Are the World. It did help out something. It helped out somebody. We don't know. Okay. But the bottom line is, address her point. She's saying that America helps everybody else, but it doesn't help us. Address that point. But let's see if he addresses that point. He won't address that point. And we'll get into the particulars of what he says. And let's do this.
You don't automatically get respect because you're an elder, because in North America, there's a lot of quote unquote elders walking around that, to be quite frank, to be honest, I have more intelligence, I have more credibility, I have more substance, I have a higher IQ, I have a higher knowledge base than many elders walking around the North American continent. I keep it a stack. And she's talking about taxes. I guarantee I pay more taxes than she does. I guarantee my family pays more taxes, contributes to the American economy than she does. So trying to use paying taxes, or we pay our taxes, as if these same immigrant groups, these Black immigrant groups that she talks about, are not contributing and paying taxes and not contributing to the American economy.
Pause it right there. The taxes you people pay are pennies on a dollar to what we've contributed to society. And they mean nothing to us, Black Americans. It does nothing for us directly. So don't give us that we pay taxes bullshit. And a lot of you motherfuckers don't pay taxes. Let's not get into the IEN number, the hustle you guys run, okay? Let me tell you something that happened to me a long time ago. Professor was complaining one time in class, and he said some student like came to him and said, "Hey, I pay your taxes," right? And he, like, while he's telling the story, he flipped a quarter into the classroom, like towards a class, towards the students. Excuse me, tongue tied. Here we go. So he flipped a quarter towards the students, and somebody caught it. And he said, "I told that girl that thank you for your contribution." And he's pretty much used that quarter as a symbol of how much he received from whatever taxes she may have paid. A quarter. Okay, so whatever taxes you pay, that shit doesn't do shit for us. Okay, stop with the we pay taxes shit. That's the penance for what you receive by you living here, by your little fucker ass living here. That's fucking nothing. Stop using that hustle. I've had so many Caribbeans tell me that on the East Coast as a justification for open borders and having them come here. Your taxes do nothing for us. For all we know, your taxes went to a missile. Your taxes went to a spacecraft or a shuttle. That shit does not impact our schooling, our health care, or nothing directly. So stop using that fucking excuse.
If they were not contributing, then America would not open the doors for them to come and share their expertise and their knowledge and their money and their resources with the American economy. But like I said, these people do not have an understanding of how the world truly works.
You do not have an understanding on how America works. Yes, America will let in a bunch of useless people just to drive down wages and to control the masses. They've done that since the Emancipation Proclamation. I've said this in other videos, or in at least one video. Before the Emancipation Proclamation, there were like spikes here and there for settlers, not economic migrants, people who actually had to build this country or help build this country. But after the Emancipation Proclamation, there was a huge spike that didn't turn off, or they didn't turn off the spigot for some time. And with you people, since 1965, they haven't turned off the spigot. You motherfuckers are still coming here. And that's what really irks me about this whole situation. It's not like you come here and then, you stop coming here and you improve the conditions in your home country to keep people from wanting to leave. Because what you're doing is you're continuing the brain drain, because that's what you're doing when you continue to come here. Okay? And the reason the Europeans stopped coming in mass numbers is because the conditions improved in their homeland. So won't you go improve the conditions in your homeland so you can stop coming here and bragging about the pennies on a dollar that you contribute to nothing of nothing? And that's real. And a lot of you do cheat on your taxes. We all know this. That's a part of the game. So I can't knock the hustle, but don't act like your taxes do a lot for us and like your expertise means something. Believe me, we will go on and continue to grow if that lady doesn't come from Haiti to work at a nursing home as a CNA. Life will go the fuck on. Everybody is expendable, homie. That is how this shit works in the world all over, not just America. So yes, they let anybody in here just to keep the competition level, at a fierce level, if that makes any sense. But let's keep going.
They may be up in age, they might be old in appearance, but in terms of understanding, knowledge, wisdom, their age means nothing, and it's not worthy of respect. And the tragic part about it is the young people my age got to look up to elders like this. We got to look at them like they're the wise elders with the knowledge to pass down to the young generation when they don't have it. A lot of them simply do not have it. They're not equipped to lead the next generation. A lot of the young generation like myself, we got to lead ourselves because a lot of elders ain't really worth shit.
Okay, I'll say this. I grew up in the crack era, so I understand where you're coming from. I get it. I totally get it. We had to learn that some of our elders are negligent. They are wayward. We understand that, but you still accord them respect. I don't care what they're going through. You give them their due respect until they unearn that due respect. Okay? Do you understand? You don't disrespect them. And that's a problem with a lot of you first gen and second gen motherfuckers. You guys are showing us that the concessions that Black Americans made in the Northeast were pretty much all for naught. Like they didn't mean shit damn near. Because while we thought your parents or your grandparents stopped with the discrimination and stopped like being assholes, no, they just reconvened their bullshit to the household. So they raised you to be disrespectful. And I can remember visiting like Caribbean friends' homes or just immigrant friends' homes, and I would get this strange energy. Like they were reluctant to have us eat dinner with them sometimes. It just felt real odd. And now that I look back, yes, they most likely felt uncomfortable because they couldn't talk shit because I was present. They knew what I was. They knew I was half, whatever. But still, they didn't want to gamble on the chance of, exposing themselves or saying something disrespectful. Okay, but you are the end result of us just, giving too many concessions and just letting them raise their kids. However, I see it today with my neighbors' kids. They're pretty much isolated from everybody. They're not being raised to behave themselves. And I'm gonna elaborate that with this one story. One time I was with my son in front of our place of residence, and my son was driving his Lightning McQueen car, and a little African boy wanted to get in the car. And I told my son, hey, let the boy drive your car. And the boy was driving his car, and, I'm talking, or me and my girl are talking to his mother, and the boy's driving his car, but we could see in the distance that my son pretty much wants his car back. He's a kid. That's what kids do, and plus, it's his car. The fuck? So his mother did not get him to get out of the dang car. We had to say, hey, pretty much it's like we felt it between me and my girl. We knew like we could say we're going upstairs now, So we had to tell the little boy, hey, let my son get in the car so he could play with it before we go upstairs. We didn't bring the car downstairs so you could drive it. But I used this story to exemplify, like his mother's not raising him to be polite. She's not like helping him matriculate into American society to where we live in a heterogeneous culture to where we have all these people who are in one space. So we have to set some ground rules to get along. And one of the ground rules it's to oblige people if they are in the right. Like if it's theirs, let it be theirs. It is theirs. Do not try to take from somebody else that's not yours. Of course, some people don't abide by the rule, but we try to teach each other that. Particularly Black Americans. That's what we try to do. But this African lady wasn't like even intervening to make her son act right. And I say all that to say that's most likely what happened to you. Nobody intervened to show you how to behave or how to speak. And that's why you're online talking shit. And I'll get into you being online talking shit in a second. Let's keep going.
Elders are worth something, but every elder ain't just automatically worthy of respect. It is what it is. I'm going to keep saying that on my channel. It is what it is, man. Now, let's discuss what she said about foreign aid, right? She apparently believes that the American government, Western nations, engage in charity. I already spoke about that on my channel. There is no such thing as charity as it relates to geopolitics. Everything is about maintaining and protecting your interests. That's all it's about. If something goes against their interests, you'll watch how that same foreign aid and that same charity turns into an economic sanction. As soon as a nation decides to stop playing ball and stop cooperating with the Western nations, you'll see all of a sudden that mutual cooperation turns into overthrows and assassinations. So if someone was really in the business of charity and trying to help you out and sending foreign aid and Michael Jackson singing for you, then how come when I do something he doesn't like, he wants to kill me? He wants to starve me. He wants to destroy me. Obviously, he's not a friend of mine. Obviously, he doesn't have good intentions, because as soon as I do something or say something he doesn't like, he's ready to kill me. But unfortunately, we have people like this lady right here, JB, who has sipped the American Kool-Aid, right? Oh, the American government, we so powerful and we sending billions of dollars overseas to do charity and feed the African children because we love Africans so much and we want to help the Africans so much. And no, it's not that. It's not that at all. On the surface, foreign aid is presented as a charitable act, right? But in reality, it's about advancing and protecting a nation's strategic interests. It's similar to how, say you got a record label, right? And you got an artist on a record label, and you want to make sure your artist gets played on the radio. So you're gonna break open the bank. You're gonna break open the budget. You're gonna send money to the radio station, send money to the blogs, send money to iTunes, Spotify playlist, get the artist buzzing. That's the same thing. You spending money to advance your interests.
You're totally correct, young man. Totally. But look here. NGOs keep a majority of the money. That's a well-known fact. We know that. But somebody there gets paid. So what is it? It's your corrupt politicians. And I've said this before. All of these black majority countries who want to complain about what America does, assassinations and this, that, and the other, the corporate infiltration and all this, that, and the other, there is a middleman in your home country who gets something in exchange for your oppression. Okay, somebody gets a piece of something. So for every NGO you may complain about or what they do, go speak to that middleman. And I theorize that many of you don't speak to that middleman because he's either related to you or you are a part of his circle, because you could be related to someone, but they're not going to hook you up, but you still want to, be in good stance with them. Like you want to make sure you're good with them to get something in the future, possibly, or you could be in his inner circle. And from your last video that I reviewed, yes, you are a part of that group who gets something by being in that circle. You said yourself, your father knows politicians. He knows the police. So that's why you think that, NGOs do nothing for the people. It's because you get something, but the people you left behind get nothing. And when it comes to assassinations, yes, your president, I think, was assassinated maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Well, guess what? It was people from the Caribbean who helped with the assassination, whoever did it. I do not know who assassinated your president, but they caught the gentleman, and several of them were Caribbean. So stop with the dumb shit, okay? And when you talk about We Are the World and how it did, like you're kind of downplaying his contribution. Homie, yes, we grew up on that song, and we know that it did something because they raised money. Here we go. Let me show you why. Okay. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Here we go. We Are the World. Right here. You see it right here. We Are the World. This is from the Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica. It earned $50 million in donations. Okay. Yes, we don't know where that money went, but in that time in 1985, that's a considerable amount of money. That's nothing to balk at. That's some real money, homie. So shut that shit the fuck up. That money went somewhere. That money went to someone in your country who should have given it to the people. That's not our problem. We don't know where this money goes when we give it to people. Like, I'm going to tell another story. So shut the fuck up and listen. I was in elementary school in Brooklyn, and we had a contest every week on whoever gives the most money to this charity to most likely feed your monkey ass or your monkey ass's people. And whoever gave the most money got a certificate with the child's name on it. And yeah, one time I would win sometimes, but then I would lose because I was in private school with these white kids, and yeah, they had money. But one day I said, I know I'm gonna beat them. I brought my whole wad, so I had maybe like $80 or $100, right? And I gave it to the lady, the nun, that is. And she questioned me like on where I got this money. And at the time, I'm a child. I don't know anything about possible microaggressions or, outright racism. I don't know shit about that. I'm a kid. I'm literally like maybe what, 8, 9 years old. So she didn't believe me. So she called my brother because my brother was in a grade. Wait, no, he's many grades above me, like 5 grades above me. And he came. She called him, and he came and verified. And my brother looked at me like in amazement, like, "You fool! You giving your money off?" You know. But he said my brother told the nun, yeah, that he gets, yeah, that's most likely his money, because you know we both have jars of money and shit, and we were taught to save. But bottom line is, not to drag this out to make myself seem like some fucking charitable person, but after I gave that money to that nun, I don't know where the fucking money went. The money could have gone to feed someone who eventually migrated here and is now driving down the wages. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. So you can't, it's almost like you want us to feel like whatever you do for anybody means nothing, Black Americans. But I bet you if it was a white American saying this shit, you will be so grateful. You be like, yeah, man, yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? But since it's not coming from them and it's coming from us, you want to downplay it. And I've had relatives who live a good life in America who will really say things like, I could have done this back in my home country. Or they won't say it that way. I'll give them more credit. They'll say things like, I wish I could have done this back home in my country, like, because the living standards today in Panama are way better than the living standards of yesteryear, if that makes sense. So they pretty much say like, man, they're pretty much saying if I could have stuck out the tough time, or if I could have stuck out the tough times, I could have achieved the same level of success there as I did here. It's like, you're ungrateful motherfuckers. It's like, God damn, that's why I did that video called, Ingrate Babble, because you're like a fucking little ingrate. Like, what the fuck do you want from people? Seriously, man. Let's keep going, man. Let's get back to this fucker, man. Shit. It's like, damn. You can't, I forgot the expression, but it's like, you can't do good for shit for people. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, damn near. Shit.
Because at the end of the day, that money's going to come back to you anyway. Why would America go into their budget to empower another nation, to help another nation become more powerful than they are? What sense does that make on any economic or political level? Why would I help another nation overpower me? Why? That doesn't make any sense. But when you have elders, quote unquote, like these walking around giving knowledge to the younger generation, I'm assuming she probably has kids, then you understand why our people are so far behind politically, economically, because our mindset, we don't have the proper mindset to compete, because our elders are not properly equipping us. Now, my elders properly equip me. I already told y'all. I don't got no problem with that. I was speaking in general. The reason why I'm so intelligent at such a young age is precisely due to my elders. And I already understood the dynamics of these things since I was 14, 15, 16 years old, going back to the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, when all those billions of dollars were raised and so much money was sent. And still to this day, nothing was built, nothing was established, because that money was not sent to the people. That money was sent to American corporations, American NGOs, American groups that went and did the work on behalf of the American government. That money never went to the pockets of the Haitian people. That money went to American NGOs. They recycle that money among their own groups, their own businesses, and their own corporations. And all that money gets recycled right back into the American economy. Because even if they give money to a government, that government is going to spend that money with the donor nation. They're gonna spend that money with American corporations, American groups, American NGOs anyway. So at the end of the day, the money.
No, they're gonna spend that money with the fucking politicians. Stop acting like all of that money goes back to America and the NGOs, who most likely people in your class in the country want to fuck with one of the women in the NGO. So that money goes to you guys. Stop it. I'm not even going to do the research for you, okay? This is one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to teach you anything. I'm just going to tell you shit. And you have to figure it out on your dumb ass own, because your parents raised you to be a little fucking ingrate. And he mentioned the earthquake in Haiti. Let me show you this. And this is why he most likely took issue with this lady mentioning We Are the World. This is most likely why he took such a serious issue with something that was really heartwarming for us as kids, because I was literally a kid. I was like a little kid. So I remember the song. And shit, I bought that. My mother bought the album. I still have that album in my collection today. But here we go. This is why this motherfucker's mad. Look here. The worst, this is coming from NPR. The worst ideas of 2010. We Are the World 2005. Look here. Let's see. Here we go. Released in 1985, We Are the World was like nothing music fans had ever witnessed. With Quincy Jones, Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson at the helm, the project brought together dozens of musical megastars to benefit African famine relief. The impact was massive. Multi-platinum sales, months of radio airplay, tens of millions of dollars raised for the cause. And so, when the song's silver anniversary coincided with a major disaster, the magnitude 7.0 earthquake that decimated Haiti in January, there seemed only one thing to do. And what was that? To do a repeat, because it obviously helped out some Africans when it was released in 1985. Okay? So this is what you're mad at, that the money didn't go to you guys. Let's keep on reading, because I saw another part. Oh, shit. Where is that part? Okay. Here we go. Getting informed. Let's see. What was that part? So, yeah, getting informed is easy. They're pretty much telling you like a better way to send money. A 2-second Google search will turn up countless relief groups for any cause, each of which has 4 or 5 ways to accept donations. We know how to send our money to Haiti. We don't need Quincy Jones to do it for us. They're pretty much saying like you could find a way to send the money without going through a nonprofit. Okay. So this is why he's mad. It's because that money most likely didn't help your people directly. Okay. Whatever they raise, I don't see an exact number because I went through this article, but I couldn't find an exact number. So you see the title of the article, The Worst Ideas of 2010. We Are the World. It was for the Haiti, or for the earthquake in Haiti. This is why he's most likely like laser focused on this lady's one example, because this is one example. You have to remember, he's taking chopped up pieces from Bucci's video. So you don't know what the lady said before that. You don't know what she said after that. So he just leaves it all out there for wonder. Okay, you don't know what she said. You don't know her following argument. She could have said what I've already said, but he's going to leave that out so he can use this as a reason to lash out. Because this is another reason I'm responding to this guy, because I believe people like him, Haven Bullets, Looney Tunes, what's another channel? I can't think of any others, but they are used as the propaganda arm of Pan-African Babble. That's what they are. They got a bunch of little kids who are tech savvy, who could get on a computer and just run their mouth and repeat and regurgitate whatever Pan-African Babble that's been shoved down their throat. And the Pan-African Babble usually goes like this. We, Black immigrants, Black foreigners get everything, and Black Americans should be happy to help us. That's all it is. That's all that shit is. That's the basis of my first episode of Snapshot of Peter Pan Pan-Africanism. That's all it means. And that's all he does is just babble about what they should get and how we should shut up and not listen to Tariq and not listen to Yvette, not listen to Tone, not listen to anybody but them. And if we don't, then we're dumb. We're ignorant. Man, shut the fuck up. Let's go. Let's go back to this idiot. This is really mind-numbing. I pray this will be my last video review of this idiot.
Right back tenfold. And if I could have made that analysis at the young age of 14, 15, 16, how is she over 50 years old and still does not understand how the world works? But that goes to show you, This is the type of person that gets sucked in to the message given out by Tariq Nasheed. You have to be a low intelligent individual to be sucked in and radicalized upon this message. You have to be an individual with no higher education. You have to be an individual with a very low level of life experience to get sucked into this ideology, to think that Michael Jackson making songs has any effect on anything geopolitical. Michael Jackson at that time wasn't even signed to a black-owned record label. The white boys was making money off him. So the white boys made money off Michael Jackson singing for Africa. So see how that money still gets recycled? Even when you quote unquote singing for Africa, we singing and dancing for Africa, and the white man behind the curtain still counting up the checks, still counting up the goddamn money.
Here we go with the projection. It's always back to the white man, even though you love the white man more than anybody else on this planet Earth. You Caribbeans and Africans love the white man. But I would like to say, I paused it really for this reason. For all my Black Americans and all of our allies who may listen to me, and I am honored if you listen to me just one time, you're not dumb. Do not let these people shame you into not using your own brain. You are intelligent. Don't let someone piss on you and tell you it's rain, okay? That's the only reason I stopped the video, and I notice how when he speaks and I'm listening to him and trying to stay focused on my response, the way he speaks is very aggressive, and that's what they do. They're very aggressive. So if you don't comply, then they get aggressive. And I've experienced this in my own life. And this has nothing to do with family. This has to do with like real life experience. They are violent. That aggression is a four-way into violence. That's what it is. It leads into violence, and that's what a lot of Pan-Africanists do. I could tell you a story right now, but I'm not going to get into it because I had an incident that just occurred to me where somebody, I disagreed with him on topics revolving around this. On topics like this, I disagreed with him. He was much older and he got violent, okay? That's all he's doing. He's trying to like force you to believe what he believes because that's what his parents did to him to make him not act decently.
Man, listen, man. Y'all don't know shit about how the world works. That's why y'all following behind Tariq Nasheed, because y'all don't know shit. A bunch of dummies following behind a goddamn 8th grade dropout. The dummies following the dummies. That's why as soon as somebody tell me, nigga, I'm FBA, I'm ADOS, I'm FBA for Tariq Nasheed. Nigga, I know you dumb as fuck, nigga. I know you dumb as fuck. I don't care how many gray hairs you got, nigga. You dumb as fuck. Anyways, let's get back into the footage.
The other thing, JB, is that when we give this foreign aid, it doesn't work the way that you think it does. What happens is the State Department or the USAID puts forward a certain amount of budget for American companies to be contractors in those countries to provide services. So in other words, we're really recycling that money back to American companies. It's not going as just charity to the country of direction. So like in the case of Ethiopia, when they had the famine in the 80s, that money went to NGOs that were American. That money went to farm subsidy companies that provided grains and various things. And that money basically said it was given on behalf of Ethiopia.
Okay, let's pause it there. So he just said it went to foreign entities that provide grains. So you got food. Like I said, you get something. Don't come to us because your leaders worked out bad deals. Like, let me give you an example. I found Mbutu's grandson, Mbutu, who was the prime minister or president of the Congo a long time ago. If you watch Ali, you know who I'm talking about. The movie Ali with Will Smith. I saw him online, and he's not in Africa, of course, because his family's been exiled. But guess what? He's living a good life off of the money he got from the West. These are the people you need to confront. But no, you won't confront them because you're most likely a part of that class. So you just let Mbutu's grandson get all the white coochie and have fun and post pictures online in the Middle East and in Europe and just let it go. But you want to come to us complaining about what the NGOs did or did not do. Make it make sense for me. Why? Just answer this question for me. If you ever hear me, I want you to answer one question. Why do your countrymen in each Black majority country not confront the middlemen who work with the West to oppress you? Give me one reason. And I know the reason most likely. Just tell me that reason.
But the actual Ethiopian state really didn't touch it. Because
even the Ethiopian government was paying those NGOs. They were getting money from both sides. Don't even bring up Africa because these people hate Africans. Why don't you talk about Ukraine?
Nobody hates Africans. And look how he mentioned the Ukraine. It's Pan-Africanists who do this. They always deflect to the white man. Even though they tell us not to go to the white man, they'll deflect to him each time when we mention these issues. Why is that?
The best example of what is going on. Do you actually think the money we're sending to Ukraine is actually going to Ukraine? That's going to United States-based weapons manufacturers. That money never sets foot in Ukraine. That money goes to BlackRock. That money goes to Halliburton or whatever it's called. That money goes to, not Halliburton, what's the other one? Raytheon. That money goes to Raytheon, and then they deliver weapons to Ukraine. We got to understand.
It goes to Halliburton too.
Yeah, Halliburton. We got to understand. My sister-in-law works for Raytheon, designing weapons. They get the money directly from the government. Ukraine don't never touch that money. We have to understand the way the world works before we think that we're going to go into the world and try to demand something. And
all right, we back now. Much love to Philip Lindsay on the panel breaking that down. I believe he's actually a lawyer. Like I said, you see what happens when intelligent black men step in the room, black men who actually, understand how the world works, black men who actually have an education, a background, and expertise. You see how the level of the conversation immediately raises when the Tariq Nasheed supporters shut their mouth and the intelligent black men open their mouth. You see how suddenly the level of discourse reaches a new level. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's a different level, bro. You got the dummies talking, and then you got the real black men talking. And one thing they fail to touch on is when this foreign aid is given, when this money is given, it's not given as charity. A lot of times, it's met with conditions. For example, they might say, listen, we're going to give you X.
Okay, let me pause that. I'm going to rewind it in a second, but look how he contradicted himself in one video. First, he starts out with the whole, I don't believe a person with a JD or PhD, is necessarily intelligent. But now he says that the conversation just went to the next level because this lawyer said what we all know. We know this shit. That's one thing I can't say. I can say we don't know where the money goes, but we do know that the money is most likely going to administrative fees, into, special interests groups and people and associations. We know that shit. And that's why, a lot of people stop giving money, honestly. And it's actually sad because we're all at the register these days, and we all see the button to press, to donate our change or a portion of whatever we're paying to a nonprofit. And it's not a portion, it's in addition to what we pay for our groceries. And I think they noticed that we're not, tapping the button enough, like paying that $5. And now at the register that I go to, they let you type in the amount that you want to give. And some of them even make it as much or as least as like $1 because they know, like we know, that this money is not going directly to the people. It's going to administrative fees, okay? So they made it $1 so you can't have an excuse not to give some money, especially if they bring up something related to children. I cannot say no. I can't. I'm gonna give that $1. I'm a kick in 5, in fact, especially when they do the whole, because it comes up on the screen. They show especially the children with the cleft mouths and stuff. Once they show that picture, it's like, hey, here we go. Take that, man. Give me my groceries and my receipt. And now I got to bag it myself. So now once I'm bagging my shit, then that's when they give me my receipt after I do all the work. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man. So we already know this. But let's look at this dude, Philip Lindsay. And this is not a shot at him or anything. But let's see who we're dealing with, because you should know who you're dealing with. That's a part of life, okay? That's just a part of life. That's why people dox people, and that's shit. I've been doxed most likely, but I don't give a fuck. I ain't nobody but a dumb nigga from Brownsville. I ain't got shit. But here goes Philip Lindsay. Okay, this is who I presume him to be because he's in Los Angeles with Bucci, and I've seen him around in different circles. Okay, so let's go down his education. He went to Lake Forest. Okay. I don't know that school. So let's do this. Okay. Okay, where is this? Okay. I hate when they don't get. Oh, so it's in Illinois. Okay, so he's from the Midwest. He's most likely from a suburb of Chicago. Okay, now you already know where that's at. Now let's go to his law school. Okay. And let's do this. Rank. Okay. Okay. So it's ranked 73rd. 73. It's 70, it's a 73rd school in the ranking for all law schools. Decent, I guess. I don't know. It's in the top 100, and we have hundreds of law schools. But that's not to degrade him or downplay his education, but it's to give you some background. You have to know who you're dealing with. Okay, so he's from the Midwest essentially. He looks like he could be Boule. You know, he was an English teacher in Mexico for 11 months. He was a law clerk, which isn't all that, for 3 years. Okay, 9 months as executive vice president, the 9-month stretch, 3 years as senior law clerk. Okay, and it's for the Chicago public schools essentially, or the school board. Okay, you're doing good. Contract. Okay, so if you're a contract attorney, like, you eat what you kill. That's just what it is. Okay, he's a screenwriter. Oh, he wrote that dumbass Chirac. He's a screenwriter for that dumbass show with that girl that looks like a dude. I don't know, but now he's his own attorney, or he has his own law firm for 18 years. This is just to give you background on who you're dealing with, and why not? You know, why not know who you're dealing with? Because what he said wasn't deep and impactful. We all know what he just said. We all know they drop rice off at the motherfuckers. We know, okay? But again, that has nothing to do with our generosity. Our generosity is not dictated, or it's not related to the end result necessarily, because we have no control over foreign entities and their relationship with NGOs. What they do is their business. What the fuck are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to take this money, get on a plane, and go directly to Ethiopia and give the money to the people who are starving? Is that what we were supposed to do? Come on, man. You motherfuckers are annoying, man. Seriously. But I only brought up Philip Lindsay just to give you some background. You know, he's still educated. We respect our educated brothers, but don't act like his word is gold, okay? That's all I really meant to say. You know, he's not, Charles Ogletree, okay? Okay, chill the fuck out, homie.
A lot of times it's met with conditions. For example, they might say, listen, we're going to give you X amount of dollars, but you got to start, busting open them LGBT laws. You know what I mean? You got to let the gay black men, start percolating all through the country. You know what I mean? So it's never just, listen, here, have this money, have a ball with this money, go build infrastructure with the money, have a ball with the money, go buy weapons with the money. No, take this money, and then you got to do X, Y, and Z. And if you don't do X, Y, and Z, we're going to sanction you. And if you really act up, we're going to eliminate you. And to put it in perspective, let's say me, myself, Neferkari Desalegn, I came to you, whoever you are listening to this video, and I said, listen, bro, I got $5 million for you. But in order to get this $5 million, and in order for me to keep giving you this $5 million, you got to come by my crib every Wednesday. You got to sweep up my basement. You got to mop up my kitchen. And you got to mow my lawn. And if you don't mow my lawn, I'm going to starve you. And if you try to disobey me, I'm going to come to your house, and I'm going to eliminate you and your whole family. And then imagine me turning around and saying that I'm actually doing charity for you. I'm actually trying to help you out. I'm actually the good guy breaking open the bank and sharing the wealth with you. And you should be grateful for what I do for you. That's the logic of these, Tariq Nasheed dummies, these Tariq Nasheed dick suckers.
Nah, you got the logic all twisted, homie. You can't fault us for acknowledging our charity and then get mad at us because your politicians made a deal with the devil. And I don't mean devil in terms of white people. It's an expression. They made the devil's bargain, and that's their business. That is something for you to take up with your middlemen. Okay? No one can stand on your back unless you lean forward, man. That's just what it is. Unless you're a part of Circus Soleil, there's no way to fucking stand on somebody's back unless they're leaning forward. So whoever's leaning forward and taking up the ass in your country, go talk to them. Okay? I'm not down with what they do. I'm not. It's just, of course, it's not right. But in everything, be fair and balanced. In everything, gain an understanding. With that said, shut that shit the fuck up.
Who really think the American government has the best interest of black nations at heart. But this is the propaganda that is fed to American citizens. Because in their mind, we're the good guys. We're the saviors. We're the ones helping everybody. Everybody should be grateful for us because we're God's gift to humanity. Anyways, let's continue.
No, that's not what we think. I've never had that thought in my life. And I already told you the story from elementary school. So my charity has never stopped. Okay. So shut that shit up. That's not what we're taught. I can't say that we are fed a constant diet of American patriotism and heroicism, but that's through our acknowledgement of our acts. That's not because we feed into some type of propaganda that makes us think like we're the best and we do everything for everybody. We just want to be giving. So you want to fault us for being giving? It's like, what do you want? I mean, come on, man. What do you want? Seriously.
And get what? And can I ask this? Get what from Africa? They're going to import us some cars. Maybe Africa's going to import us some weapons. What in the world is Africa going to import?
JB, come on.
Wait,
I'm trying to
understand your question.
She said, "What is Africa going to? What are we going to import from Africa?" JB, you're not even able to be on your phone or whatever you are on without metal from Africa. Tesla can't even make a car with all that cobalt and coltan from Africa. Lady, do you understand?
But who is it that manufactures that? Who is it that make it possible for us to have the cell phones and the Teslas and all this other stuff?
Do you
See, they won't answer that question because she doesn't know how to phrase it correctly. Who is the middleman in the African nation that provides cobalt? Let's do this. Let me look this up, man. Cobalt. Okay, where is it? Okay. Damn, here we go. Okay, so let's do this. So let's do this. Stop screen. Just in case these people try to say, like, oh, you know, we don't know the middleman, you know, we don't know. We just don't know. Okay. Cobalt source. You see it highlighted. I'll highlight it. Cobalt source. And here we go. Where does cobalt come from? And this is from a government agency. Cobalt is obtained through the following three main types of ore deposits. What does that say? Sedimentous, stratiform copper deposits, such as those in Central African copper belt in the Democratic of the Republic of the Congo. Okay, so let's see this. Let's see. Okay, so damn, I hate when the computer does that. Okay, so when you want to say they take the cobalt, put it in our computers, and put it in the cars, let's speak to Felix. Let's holler at Felix for a second. Let's do some, Wikipedia is not reliable, but let's just get some background information. So Felix is 59 years old. Looks good for his age. Keep it up, homie, if you hear this. And I don't think that much of myself, but it's a small world. He's a member of the Lumba ethnic group. Let's look up this though. I guess you can't find that. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, yeah, they participate in slavery for sure. Yeah, they participate in slavery. Okay, you see the highlighted word, but I just do that just to that's not even the point of me bringing him up. So he was born in Kinshasa in 1963. Okay, let's see. Where's his education? I just want to see. Where's his education? Let's just go here. Damn it. They don't put his education over there. Damn. Where is it? Damn. Damn, I can't find his education. Okay, so yeah, man, this speed reading. Here we go. I do not see his education. Okay. So is he uneducated and he's leading? What the hell is this? Bottom line is, so he went on to live. Hold on. Okay, so Felix was forced to accompany him. Okay, let's go here. He had a comfortable life as a youth in the capital, but when his father created the UDPS in the early 1980s, publicly opposing Ubuntu, Felix was forced to accompany him into house arrest and in his native village in central Kasai. This put his studies on hold. So yeah, that's why I don't see education, huh? Damn. Does it say it up here? We'll get back to that. Let me see. This damn speed reading. Okay, let's just get back to it. So it's put his studies on hold. In 1985, Ubuntu allowed him, his mother, and his brothers to leave Kasai. He went on to live in Brussels, Belgium, where he worked at odd jobs and became an active UDPS member. So I don't see any education. So you got an educated guy. Felix, I won't even attempt to pronounce his name. I'll do it. Let's do it. Felix Tshisekedi. Felix Tshisekedi. Go speak to him if you want to complain about America taking cobalt. Why not? He has to know whoever owns the land, who signed over the land rights to the American corporation to mine the cobalt, right? So go talk to him. Why don't you go talk to him? Why not? Why not? Please tell me, because you're a punk cuh. What is it? Hold on. Let's go back to the other source. So, okay, Zambia. Okay. Okay. So it's mainly okay. It says let's just go to Zambia, okay? President of Zambia. Oh, so president of Zambia is a Mr. Hakainde Hikulima. Those names, boy. Okay, who was before him? Because that's a person who's most likely. Okay. Oh no, that's from back in the days. Hold on, how long did this guy serve? Yeah, that's not shit. Dragging this out. I hate dead air, but hey, I don't care. So Kenneth Kaunda was the previous president. Go speak to Kenneth Kaunda. Let's see his education. No education again. I don't see any education. I'm not even gonna do that to myself. These damn names. But yeah, go speak to Hakainde too. And what's so ironic is I met a girl online from the Zambia. And yeah, and homegirl was an asshole. I could tell she was from the upper class because we used to talk. And for all this talk I do about Pan-Africanism and all that other stuff, I think I've told this, or I think I've said this before, and I've told this other people. I have no problem with doing business with you motherfuckers. I don't turn down nothing but my collar, partner. But yeah, I tried to communicate with her, and she seemed receptive until she couldn't find a way to get money out of me. Okay, like without any type of guarantees. And I was going to visit, but whatever, because people could be ghosts in a machine. That's what I call these people online that you meet from overseas, especially. It could be ghosts in the machine. So I'm not gonna do anything without going over there. But yeah, she was a little asshole. But that's neither here nor there. But bottom line is, go speak to these guys, Mr. Hakainde, and I think the other guy's name was Kenneth. Yeah, go speak to Kenny. Go speak to Kenny and Hakainde. Okay? Okay? Quit with the dumb shit. Quit because this cobalt argument has been used for at least like 20 years now. Because it's 2003. And man, I can remember them using this shit in like 2000. I mean, it's 2023, excuse me. So it's 2023. And I can remember them using this argument in like 2003, 2004. And I understood it then, but I still had these thoughts in my mind like, why don't you speak to the person who sold the land rights? Because that was the argument back in the days. Like these Africans sold the land rights without knowing what they were giving up. And that's not our fault, and that's not even the corporation's fault. Why are you selling your land? Why not fucking work out a partnership with them? Oh, it's because you want a quick dollar, so you could go live in Belgium like Hassien Kinde. Oh, that's what it is, huh? You want to live the good life. Because we all know, like, I think Putin said this. He said Africa, let's see if that's a real quote. Because that could be some internet shit. Africa is a... Yeah, there's no evidence. Yeah, Ruder said there's no evidence, but it's a true quote. It's not whoever made up this quote, just like some people believe the Willie Lynch letter was created, even if it was created, there's some truth to that shit. That Willie Lynch letter, the shit, there's some truth to it. Even if it's not true, it's played out in real life. Let me see. Yeah, the quote goes as this: Africa is nothing but a cemetery for African. He would they develop a country that yeah, man, I'm not even going to put my brain through that. My brain, it fucks with me when I'm reading shit where it's like illiterate. That's another reason I don't like social media a lot of times. That shit fucks with my head. Like, I don't feel like self-editing all the fucking time. But bottom line, we all know the quote. The quote that's alleged to have been said is that Africa is nothing but a graveyard. You go to, Europe for your health care. You go to America to invest. What else? Or for education. And, you only go to Africa when it's time to die and you're buried there. Even though the quote is not true, allegedly, there's a lot of truth to it, okay? So when you have problems with the cobalt being mined, go speak to Hakiende and Kenny. Go holler at them, okay? Let's get back to this. Like, comment, subscribe, share, especially subscribe, you motherfuckers. Because I'm getting a little bit of views I get, but I need some subscribers. Make you play a partner feel good. Damn it. And I don't mean that in a funny way for all you weirdos. Let's get back to this.
The resources from the land.
Wait, guys. Lady, listen, what I'm telling you. You can't do any of that without those resources. So when you say
that's the natural, those are natural resources.
So listen, right? But they're owned by Africans. Africans control that stuff.
You have European, Asians, and all.
No, they don't own them. What they do is they sell the land rights. That's common knowledge. That's common knowledge, Bucci. They sell the land rights. It's common sense. They did that in the oil industry in the South when they first struck oil down there. Okay, you sell the land rights. That's what created the Beverly Hills Billies story. That's what made it believable, is the fact that those people in the Beverly Hills Billies sold their rights and they moved to Beverly Hills. Okay, so that's exactly what these Africans have done. They sold the land rights and then they go live a good life in Europe or America or in the West period or now the Middle East. Now they're there. But let's keep on going.
Or that over in Africa, they're taking over.
Listen, wait, JB. The stuff comes from Africa. It then goes to China. That's where it's manufactured. Then it comes to America. China leverages their role in the situation. They get free, they get no tariffs, no nothing. They come into America, import stuff into America for free and all that stuff. So the African can do the same thing. But when you say, so this is what you're saying. You're like, what is the African going to offer us, right? Let me ask you a question before we let L.A. Thorne, the Martian, go. What incentive, what do you have as Black Americans to give, to offer America to incentivize their giving you reparations?
And this is where I can tell Bucci's not educated. That's why I suspect he didn't graduate high school. Like, it's either that or I have to credit my schooling or where I've gone to school that informed me. Look here. Whenever they've given us some type of concessions, it has resulted in an economic boom in America. And when I say concessions, I don't mean they've really given us shit. They haven't really given us shit. But like, let me put it like this. A concession that they gave us, you know, after the Emancipation Proclamation was to leave us the fuck alone. Segregation did work to our benefit. Okay? And that created a bunch of economic strongholds, a bunch of city centers all over the country for Black people. Tulsa is just one of them, okay? That's just one of many. I have a book where they show all of the areas where they had uprisings, and pretty much all of the areas where they had it wasn't even uprisings, riots or race massacres. That's what they really were. Just like Tulsa was a race massacre. They were always in our most, viable areas. So whenever they left us alone, there's been an economic benefit for the whole country. And that's what led to the roaring 20s, you fucking idiot. That's what led to that boom, okay? And that's what made them finally dismantle the Negro Leagues. Okay, shit, I could get real juvenile and say, hey, once they gave us those concessions of leaving us alone, we created our own baseball league, which led to them getting some of the best baseball players to ever exist in mankind, in mankind's existence. Okay. So there's always an economic benefit. And then when they gave us that small window of affirmative action for Black people, that led to the economic boom of the 80s, you fucking idiot. So, and this is real, like, basic. Like, I could sit around people that I know are real smart and they could give me like real hardcore facts. Me, I'm just dealing with it from a surface level understanding because I'm a dumb nigga from Brownsville. I say that facetiously, but here we go. So that's the benefit they get from giving us anything. The whole society benefits. And if you want to play the real long game, all of the diaspora will benefit. And that's just, each time we benefited, the diaspora benefited. So not only America benefits from any concession we receive or any type of benefit we receive, the little crumbs they give us, the whole country benefits, and then the whole Black diaspora benefits. Let's continue.
What do I have to offer? Well, I think if Black people do get reparations, it kind of give us a leg up.
That's not the question I asked you.
See, she knows what she wants to say, but she doesn't know how to express it in the moment. And this is why Bucci blocked me from his channel. It's not like I would ever go there or anything because I don't watch his shit. It's pure lunacy. Like, oh yeah, look at the hat he has on. I told you guys that hat he has on. That's the lampshade hat I told you about. That's what I used to see in Cali. Like, you had these dudes, and he has hyphy glasses on too. He looks exactly like I described in that other video. So he has a hyphy glasses on, and he has the lampshade on his head. That is, for me, for anybody, not just for me, for anybody that was in the Bay Area or California at that time during like the early 2000s, they know what that's a sign of. That's a sign of mental illness to us. People outside of California or anybody Black outside of California or non-Black Californians don't know this. But for us, we know that's like a sign of insanity to a degree. Like, some people wore it, periodically, for fun. But for the dudes who wore it like it was a thing to do, yeah, that dude's most likely off. I can't even remember my family coming to visit me from the East Coast at that time. And they kept on asking me, what's going on with these hats? And I had to tell them, that's them niggas are off. Okay. I suggest we don't go to that gas station. You know, keep going. I'll direct you to the right gas station. But let's keep going.
I said, what do you have to offer white America, the government? The number one taxpayer in America is white America, the rich ones. Rich people pay most of the taxes in America. What?
That's a lie. This is how I know he's fucking dumb. One thing the rich do is get out of paying taxes at all costs. That's like business 101. This is not even a business 101. This is not even a college level course. This is econ in high school. We all know the rich get out of paying taxes at all costs. So that's not true. The majority of the taxes paid in America is by the middle class, which is dwindling by the minute. So no, shut the fuck up.
What do you have to offer?
Very small percentage of them too.
Listen, but it's okay. Very small, 1%, right? That's what they say, 1 to 3%. What do you have to offer them in exchange for them giving you reparations?
I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen of this country. And
So
my
are they.
ancestors, and my ancestors were abused and misused by this government. And I think the government owes us reparations.
So
for
you
that.
think, so listen, so you think the government owe you reparations? I'm gonna ask this question one more time, ma'am. What do you have to offer them in exchange for them giving you reparations? Because anybody who knows how politics works, you got to give something to get something. What do you have to offer them to give you, to incentivize them giving you reparations? What does Black America have to offer them?
Say votes, girl.
I don't have, forget a vote. I
Our
don't
vote
have to
don't even
offer them
matter. Most of us
anything.
don't even vote.
All right, we back now. I enjoyed this segment because it touched on a topic that I've been talking about for a while. A lot of the amenities, the luxuries that we enjoy in Western society, Western civilization, the quality of life that we enjoy is directly dependent upon the subjugation and the destruction of Africa. You see, what we got going on in the modern day is back in the day, right, in the 1700s, the 1800s, what you had going on was Black people were shackled to the plantations, on the sugar plantations, the cotton plantations, the tobacco plantations. And because of the slave economy, that was a benefit to the citizens living in Europe. Now, in the modern day, it has changed. Now, instead of the cotton plantations, the tobacco plantations, the sugar plantations, what you got now is you got African children in the mines, in the cobalt mines, in the gold mines, in the diamond mines, in the coltan mines. But it's the same exact thing. Now it's switched. Now we're the ones enjoying a quality of life. Now we get to have the iPhones and the Teslas and the laptops and everything like that. The same way how back in the day they had the sugar and the tobacco and the cotton, and our forefathers were on a plantation. Now you got the Africans on the continent. They're on a plantation now. Yeah, they're on a plantation. It never changed. It never changed. The business model has never changed. It just switched locations. The same way you had African children on the sugarcane plantations, now you got African children in the coltan mines, in the gold mines, in the diamond mines, on the cocoa plantations. It's the same exact thing. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. It's the same exact people subjugating the same exact people. The only difference is now Black people, we get to enjoy some of it now. Now, due to the fact that our family on
Okay, young man, you are correct. I can't lie. That is what happened. America was a breadbasket of the world at one time. We were a major exporter, and Europe benefited greatly from that shit because, truth be told, a lot of American corporations are still owned by European corporations. A lot of American corporations are subsidiaries of American corporations. I could use one simple example through Vivendi record company, which is in France, but they own like Universal Music Group, I think, or they own one of the major record labels. And that only occurred because after the Revolutionary War, yes, we were no longer a colony, but the business still had to be handled. The Europeans didn't give up their business holdings in America, which continued to grow over time. So you are correct. And what's happening in Africa is most likely correct. You are correct. But again, go address that to the middleman. Who is fucking doing this shit that's in your country? Somebody in your country is doing it, okay? Stop being a punk bitch and go talk to the man who could be your uncle. Yeah, you, Dessalines. Oh, so your name is Neferkari. You said it in the video. Mr. Neferkari Dessalines. On one night while you're sipping your fucking Jamaican rum, fucking talking to your uncle, ask him why he's oppressing his own people. Do that for me, and then come back to us.
On the continent is working for peanuts, those natural resources, they get sent into Western nations the same way the sugar and the tobacco and the coffee and everything else was getting sent to Europe a couple centuries back. It never changed, bro. The business model never changed. The only thing that really changed is instead of taking the human capital, the human resources, we're going to take the natural resources. Because back in the day, they needed the human resources to cultivate the crops so they can send those resources back to Europe. But now they just need the natural resources to make the goods and the products and everything like that so we can enjoy a high quality of life at the expense of our family back on the continent. And the same thing happens in the Caribbean as well. I've touched on it as well, how you got American companies in Haiti paying black women less than $1 an hour, like 70 cents an hour, the same way how back on the African continent, they're getting paid peanuts because they can get away with it. And that's why it's a benefit to Western nations that these countries remain unstable, remain undeveloped, remain in a state of dilapidation and poverty, because then we can pay them kibbles and bits. We can pay them peanuts and we can extract a whole bunch of resources and profit from the situation.
Correct. But you just said they pay a lady whatever pennies, excuse me. But who's her supervisor? Who's a third-party contractor who works with the American corporations? Who's that dude? I bet it's not an American. I bet it's one of your countrymen. So, man, shut that shit up.
That's why as soon as the black man shows up ready to empower his people, he gets his head chopped off. He gets his head blown off his damn shoulders because they cannot afford to have any black nation rise to a level of supremacy anywhere on the planet, anywhere, because then that's going to mess up the whole hustle. We have a great hustle going on. We've been having this hustle going on for centuries, and we want to continue having it going on until eternity. And the hustle has reached such a sophisticated level that you actually have black people that think that the American government is involved in doing charity. Oh my God, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like I said, a lot of our people are simply not intelligent. And everything does not come down to white supremacy. I want to blame white supremacy for everything. A lot of stuff comes down to simply, you're just not that smart. You're just not that smart. Even if there was no white supremacy, you still wouldn't be smart. You would still be dumb and you still wouldn't be able to compete. A lot of stuff comes down to the fact that a lot of y'all are just dumb.
Here we go with the intelligence game. That's what I call it. I don't even pay that shit any mind because most times anybody who's calling you dumb is usually dumb, because most smart people know not to call people dumb because you don't want to, underestimate people, because, a motherfucker can play dumb real good if they're real smart. I've learned that so many times in my life. So I don't call people dumb. So for anybody who's listening, Black American or ally, don't let that your dumb or your ignorant game, that shit, ignore that shit. And the thing about it, what's so funny about the game he plays with the intelligence game, he could only do that online. If he did that in real life, he knows he'll get his ass beat. Okay, he knows that shit.
I'm going to repeat it. A lot of stuff comes down to the fact that a lot of y'all are just dumb. And because of the fact that a lot of y'all are really dumb, you make it very easy for the quote unquote white man to enact his white supremacy over you because you're just dumb. Now, let's continue.
What I'm saying is, while you're attacking Africans, you're not even focused on what you have to offer. You're talking about everything Africa don't got. You don't even realize that the Black American is actually in a worse place than the African, because we don't even have control over any natural resources to offer anybody in exchange for anything. You realize that if every Black American out of 40 million of us sent $10 a month to like a bank account, do you realize that we would be able to purchase Fortune 500 companies within a matter of months? 6 months, we could buy freaking Halliburton. 6 months, we could buy. Wait. Let me say this. Let me show. See, you keep deflecting to Africa. You keep on telling me, why are you talking about Africa? I'm talking to you now about Black America, and you're deflecting to Africa.
Because you're telling us that we can't get reparations without the help of the continent of Africa.
We can't. I'm not telling you that. The lawyer, the legal mind, told you, who has had these conversations with other lawyers.
And that's exactly why I brought up Mr. Lindsay's LinkedIn. People will use their education as a bully pin, a bully horn. I think that's what it's called. They will use their education to justify whatever they say. No, I think yeah, I got issues. I gotta correct myself. Yeah, they'll use their education as a bully pulpit. Excuse me. That's why I brought up his education. No, from what I saw on his LinkedIn, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about your law degree. Honestly, motherfuckers who have law degrees have been taught how to pretty much read and use legal precedent as a justification for whatever they want to do. You know, I think I said this in the other video. Um, the law is all about drowning people in paperwork. That's all that shit is. So save that shit, motherfucker. Save it. He's not smarter than Sandy Darity by any stretch of the imagination. And Sandy Darity is a PhD professor who's been he's most likely, not most likely, we have to know he's tenured. So, and if he's for reparations and he understands how this thing goes, then fuck this lawyer. Motherfucking fact, and think about this dude. Reason why I said that he's a contract attorney and he has to pretty much eat what he kills is because a lot of people can handle a lot of legal matters on their own today. They don't need you don't necessarily need a lawyer to file paperwork. And that was the only benefit of having a lawyer back in the days, was the fact that he had access to the knowledge of what to file and what to do. Like, for example, simple story. My ex had her wages garnished by, I think, either Verizon or AT&T, but this is a long time ago. And before the advent of the internet, she would have had to have spoken to an attorney to have him assist her with stopping the garnishment. No, she didn't do that shit. All she did was get my black ass, who knows some shit, and I found the right paperwork to file, and they stopped garnishing her paycheck. So no, all that illegal shit, shut that shit the fuck up, dog. Seriously, man.
You're blaming me because of the circumstances of your claim. It's not me telling you. It's the laws in the greatest country on earth that's more powerful than anybody else. These are the laws that they made to keep you from getting reparations. Your issue is with them. The person's ass you kissing made the rules that prevent you from getting reparations. You got to reconcile that with them. I can't reconcile that for you. Okay. So if America is the greatest country on earth, shut your ass up about reparations and be thankful that you're in this bitch. They did you a favor at that point, if that's how you feel.
Ooh. All right, we back now. Pan-Africanism strikes back. He hit him where it hurt right there, man. He punched him straight in the chest because.
Do you see how mentally ill he sounds when he agrees with a man who just went on a maniac tirade? Is like he didn't say anything of significance. Seriously, all he did was just ramble and say the same shit all these Pan-Africanists do. It's nothing deep or monumental, but this little fucker thought it was something to highlight.
Because he used their own words against them. He said, listen, if this is the greatest country on earth, when you put the greatest country on earth and this, that, and the third, I mean, listen.
That's coon babble. All coons use that. You should be grateful to be here talk. That's coon babble, you dumbass.
Shut your goddamn mouth and be grateful. If you're so much better and you're so superior to the African child inside the cobalt mines, then listen, shut your goddamn mouth about your goddamn oppression with your $1,000 iPhone and your Gucci high heels. Like, nobody trying to hear that stupid ass shit. And for those of y'all who've been following me for a while, I dropped a video entitled The Connection Between Tariq Nasheed and Just Pearly Things. And I brought up a tweet from this girl who actually said she was grateful for slavery because slavery brought her to North America. Yes, a female who followed Tariq Nasheed, she said she was thankful that slavery happened because she is now a U.S. citizen. So
just mentioning something that you didn't show on the screen lets me know you're being intellectually dishonest, okay? I don't know if this tweet is real. We don't even know if the girl is Black American. You're just saying this shit to make Black Americans look like we're the ultimate coons. When your people voluntarily came here, excuse me. Your people voluntarily came here and you stay here voluntarily. You don't have to stay here, homie. You could actually go back to Haiti. You can do that if you want to. You could go stay over there. I have relatives who are now back home in my father's home country. Some of them made the choice to go back home. I actually know a cousin that came here and they didn't like it and they went back. Okay. They didn't stay here. Okay. Shut the fuck up.
So at the end of the day, just be grateful for the white man that he brought you out of the African continent into the North American continent, and just be happy, man. Just pay homage to the white man for everything he did for you. It is what it is. Something else that I enjoyed that he talked about was the group economics aspect. He said if X amount of black people came together and put their money together, what they could accomplish. And I talk about that on my channel all the time. And last week I dropped a video as well speaking about how there are not any vertically integrated black-owned corporations. And the reason why so many of these Tariq Nasheed dick suckers have so much tension and hate in their heart for black immigrants is because everybody black in America is battling for crumbs. Is competing for crumbs off the white man's table, because due to the fact that there are not any black-owned corporations to plug anybody into, everybody is battling for a position inside the white man's economic structure. Everybody is battling for a job. That's why you guys hear these people talk about, oh, Hollywood, oh, the actors in Hollywood, they're stealing our jobs. We're not getting the acting roles in Hollywood. Why don't you build your own goddamn Hollywood? Get your own directors, get your own producers, get your own financiers, get your own movie studios. Stop.
This dumb fucker must have never heard of Oscar Micheaux. Seriously, this shit, I'm drained. Actually, I'm writing stuff for a project. As I'm listening to this shit, I'm literally working on a project in my lab because this shit is like a drain. But like I said, this will be the last time, hopefully. Yeah, I will make it the last time. He's a kid. I shouldn't even entertain a kid. I make it a rule not to entertain kids online. But it's not even about us arguing over black Brits taking roles or Africans taking roles. It's about we sacrificed for so long to get to this point, and now they give it to somebody else. Lorenz Tate recently made mention of this. And Lorenz Tate has been around a long time, and he's had a lot of good roles. And he's a steady working actor. He's not just some bum who's crying about not getting a role, okay? So, again, Google Oscar Micheaux. We did try that. I mean, currently we have Tyler Perry. For better or worse, the motherfucker has his own thing, okay? So shut that shit up.
Stop complaining about the white man not giving you a goddamn job. I don't even know what that's like. I never worked for a white man a day in my life. I only work for my father and I work for myself. The only thing I know how to do is work for the black man. I don't know nothing about working for the goddamn white man.
Okay, I gotta pause it because these motherfuckers these Caribbean motherfuckers particularly, they love to embellish and exaggerate. He most likely works for his father who has a cleaning business, or he could be a pastor and he cleans up the church. But it's nothing grand. Stop it, homie. The most you have is a bakery. Your pops owns a little Haitian bakery. Like my cousin owned a barbershop in Boston, and next door they had a Haitian bakery / restaurant. That's what he owns most likely. Or your father rents out a hall and you guys hold functions and gatherings. And that's it. Stop it. I know the Northeast. You're not doing anything grand or great. Stop acting like you're just some big baller shot caller. Stop it.
So my mentality is going to be different from a lot of you Tariq Nasheed dick suckers, because I grew up and I was raised by a black man with an empowered mentality. My elders were nothing like this lady JB, who doesn't know shit about history. Got the same economic and political knowledge as a 9-year-old girl, but she damn near over 50 years old. And the reason why you never see the foundational white Americans complaining about the white immigrants, in fact, they open their doors for the white immigrants. And the reason why that is because there are many vertically integrated white-owned corporations.
Oh, God, again, I had to pause from writing. This motherfucker doesn't know shit. There are still little fucking white nerds crying about Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine. To this day, you can Google. I'm not going to Google it. I hate taking down a screen and bringing it back up. For everyone, Google Hugh Jackman Wolverine controversy, and I put money on it. Something will come up. Let me do it myself just to see. Oh, God, it's mind-numbing. This motherfucker is mind-numbing. Yeah. Here we go. 5 details behind Hugh Jackman's. Here we go. You could Google it, and the first article comes up. Damn, what the fuck? 25 wild details behind Hugh Jackman's Wolverine fans should know. You know, wild details means, you know, when they use wild, that means, hey, it's explosive. So these are the complaints they make about Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine, a fictional fucking character. And one of the main ones is the fact that he's taller than Wolverine. Wolverine was a small guy. And honestly, they do that because Hugh Jackman is Australian. And white American males would like to see one of their own play an iconic character that they grew up seeing or reading about in comic books and seeing him fight. And then the cartoon series was on TV a long time ago, and it's still on TV. I'm sure they have some type of Wolverine, whatever cartoon somewhere out there. So no, white people do complain about that shit. I remember the first time I read about that complaint was with Hugh Grant. Let me see if that's his real name. I mean, the guy's name. I know his first name was Hugh. Yeah, it's Hugh Grant. He was the first guy that they really complained about. And also Mel Gibson, they kind of complained about him, but Mel Gibson is actually American. He was just born in Australia. Let's double check that. No, he was actually born in America. So he's an American citizen, but he grew up in Australia, I believe. I don't feel like going yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm a stickler for detail. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah. He's a Australian permanent resident for a reason. He lived there. But bottom line is yes, white Americans did have the same complaints, man. It's not, I mean, dog, I know you're a kid if you ever hear this. So you're just talking out your asshole. You're not even Googling shit. I'm doing this shit like my shit is like, I know I'm at an hour, 36 minutes. It's because I bring shit up. That's the purpose of the internet. And that's why I said lawyers are like unnecessary sometimes, because you have the internet. You don't even look up shit as you're talking. You just make these clips. And I could tell you're using software and you're making them very explosive to get views. I know what you're doing. You know, that's why I said I need to invest in software so I can make my stuff more entertaining. Not even entertaining, but to shorten it, because I know I sound long-winded. I know how I am. But the bottom line is, if you had any common sense, you would have Googled that. Yes, white Americans do take issue with non-white Americans taking roles. But let's keep going.
So whenever white immigrants come from a different country, they are able to plug them into their economic structure. In America, there is no black economy. There is no black economic structure to plug anybody into. So immediately, any immigrant that comes to America who is black, you either got to plug into the white economic structure, because there is no black economic structure to get plugged into. There is none. A black immigrant.
Again, we had economics a long time ago, but we all know that story. If you don't, go read a fucking book, okay? Stop with this shaming, like you're making it seem like we're incompetent, like we can't start businesses. Let me give you one example. I have a girl in New York that I know whose aunt had a cab company that was real popular a long time ago. And the way they destroyed her business was by creating a medallion system. It was either get a medallion or stop driving cabs. And a lot of us couldn't afford the damn medallions because they outpriced us. They priced us out of the market. Okay, that's just what happened, and that's what usually happens. And if you want to go into like retail, we had stores, and then just like every other mom and pop, not just black mom and pops, Sears put them out of business because everybody likes to go somewhere where it's real attractive and nice and convenient on top of that. Okay. And a lot of black businesses couldn't get loans to upgrade their appearance to keep up with the Sears and the Montgomery Wards of America and the J.C. Penney's of America. See, if you had any fucking common sense, you would know this shit. But of course, you were raised in that household where your father sat there and talked shit, and your mama talked shit about Black Americans to the point you didn't want to learn why. You just accepted their garble as the truth.
Cannot come to America and send his application to go work for a Fortune 500 Black-owned company. It doesn't exist. You got to go work for the big white company or start your own company. But when a white immigrant comes to America, there's a whole bunch of white companies he can plug himself into. But a Black immigrant can't do that. And because of that, what happens is now all the Black citizens of America are battling for crumbs on the bottom of the kitchen floor like a bunch of rats and roaches. And that's why all this tension exists, because there is no Black economy. And when you got people like JB, a lady over 50 years old, and listen to how she talks, you understand why there is no Black economy, because these are the elders, these are the generals, these are the chiefs leading the younger generation. So how on earth are we ever going to establish a Black economy when these are the minds that the youth has to look up to and get wisdom and knowledge from? You understand why we are in the position that we are in. A lot of stuff that we classify as white supremacy is really just, you're not that smart, you're not that intelligent, and because of the fact that you're not that intelligent, you're never going to be able to compete on any high level against anyone with a decent knowledge of how the world works and how economy works. Even if white people disappear tomorrow, you still wouldn't be intelligent. And in this next clip, you're going to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. Let's go.
Again, people, do not fall for the intelligence game. Don't even entertain that shit. It's like a waste of fucking time, because honestly, it usually leads to violence. Because after you let them know, like, to shut the fuck up with that shit, they get violent because they know they can't play that game, so they have no other, recourse. All they have is violence after that. And let's keep going.
We read how Europe underdeveloped Africa. No. And Confessions of an Economic Hitman. No. The resources extracted from Africa far outweigh the aid the U.S. sends to Africa, which allows her to live comfortably in the bosom of the United States of America. Thank you, Kwandon. I got a couple.
To that, I want to say thank you to Africa for your resources.
Yeah.
That you provide to America.
They're really your resources. That's the thing. They're your resources.
Let me rewind. Let me thank the white man from going over there and extracting them.
This is what you don't understand.
Dwindling Africa out of the money.
All right, we back. Now, like I said, this lady is over 50 years old, probably got kids around my age that look up to her as a source of wisdom and knowledge. And she said that she is grateful for the white man going over to Africa, subjugating the native citizens, and in her own words, swindling the African governments out of their natural resources so she can live comfortably in the bosom of the United States, as the brother said on the screen. So, like I said, man, I want to thank her for being honest, though. I want to thank her for being honest, because a lot of these FBA guys, they make it seem like, we're the rebel slaves, we're the ones fighting against white supremacy, we're the rebellious slaves, when in reality, everybody knows these are the house Negroes. These the house niggas, man. These the house niggas. She literally said, I'm thankful for the white man, going over there and doing all that heavy lifting so I can, live good in America.
You're projecting, you Caribbean. No, you motherfuckers actually are thankful for the white man for letting you in his country, as you describe it. I've heard that since I was a kid. You're projecting. If you couldn't detect the sarcasm in that lady's voice, that proves your lunacy, and that's why you watch Bucci. Okay, you couldn't detect the sarcasm in that lady's voice. She didn't mean that shit, most likely. And if she did, she is a dumbass. But I could detect the sarcasm. Let's listen to it one more time.
As the brother speaking out up to her,
this is what you.
Let me thank the white man from going over there. That's for your resources.
Kwandon, I got a couple.
To that, I want to say thank you to Africa for your resources.
Yeah.
That you provide to America.
They're really your resources. That's the thing. They're your resources.
Let me rewind. Let me thank the white man from going over there and extracting them.
This is what you don't understand.
Dwindling Africa out of the money.
You couldn't detect that in her tone. They're swindling the Africans out of their money. She's pretty much being a smart ass. And I can see why she's doing that. Because you're dealing with dumbasses. Because that's what I did anytime I was on Bucci's live streams. I just got smart with them, because it's like, why even respect his intelligence? Just because in person I would get that way and just and I'm gonna say it. I would dare him to press my line. I would go, hey, I'll get smart and see what the fuck he does. And then the last sentence you hear out my mouth is, that's what I thought. That's what I would say. That's the last thing I would say. That's what I thought. Shut the fuck up.
All right, we back. Going over to Africa, out of their natural resources so she can live comfortably in the bosom of the United States, as the brother said on the screen. So, like I said, man, I want to thank her for being honest, though. I want to thank her for being honest because a lot of these FBA guys, they make it seem like, you know, we're the rebel slaves, you know, we're the ones fighting against white supremacy, we're the rebellious slaves, when in reality, everybody knows these are the house Negroes. These the house niggas, man. These the house niggas. She literally said, I'm thankful for the white man, you know, going over there and doing all that heavy lifting so I can, you know, live good in America under his leadership. And it's the same thing when they criticize the living conditions in Africa. What they're saying is they're glorifying the white man for establishing such a high quality of life for them in America. Because we all know when I pay my light bill, my electricity bill, my water bill, everything like that, I'm not paying it to a black-owned company. The white man getting that money. The white man providing all that infrastructure for me. It ain't no black person. And that goes to show these people who follow this ideology, they're just not smart. They're just not very smart. Everything they got and everything they enjoy is based on the generosity of the white man. And they poke their nose up at you, even though everything from the milk, the juice, and the water, the white man. And they
Hold on, let me rewind that one time. I think I missed a part. Oh,
pay my light bill, my electricity bill, my water bill, everything like that. I'm not paying it to a black-owned company. The white man getting that money. The white man providing all that infrastructure for me. It ain't no black person. And that goes to show white thing when they criticize the living conditions in Africa. What they're saying is they're glorifying the white man for establishing such a high quality of life for them in America. Because we all know when I pay my light bill, my electricity bill, my water bill, everything like that, I'm not paying it to a black-owned company. The white man getting that money. The white man providing all that infrastructure for me. It ain't no black person. And that goes to show these people who follow this ideology, they're just not smart. They're just not very smart. Everything they got and everything they enjoy is based on the generosity of the white man. And they poke their nose up at you, even though everything from the milk, the juice, and the water they drink, and the electricity that they have in their goddamn house is based on the generosity and the ingenuity of the white man himself. The same white man who they claim to be fighting against. But in reality, we know there is no fight going on. There is no battle going on. There are no shots being fired. There is no blood being shed. Everybody's going to work, coming back home, eating their dinner, going to sleep, watching TV, living their life. Ain't no fighting against white supremacy going on anywhere in North America. But that goes to show what I said in those previous videos. A lot of these people under this ideology, they are grateful for the European. They, in their mind, even though on the surface they present themselves as these rebellious freedom fighters, deep down in their heart, they are grateful for the European and everything that the European has established for them. They look at the European as a paternal figure, as a fatherly figure. Thank you, generous white man, for going over there and subjugating the Africans and doing all that heavy lifting and colonizing and conquering the Africans. Thank you. You're such a genius. Thank you for establishing national grid. Thank you for the highways and the bridges.
okay, that's why I want to pause it so I could. This is what really caught my ear. Okay, so he said national grid. Let's rewind that one more time.
And subjugating the Africans and doing all that heavy lifting and colonizing and conquering the Africans. Thank you. You're such a genius. Thank you for establishing national grid. Thank you for the highways.
Okay, he said national grid. So this gives me what does that mean to me? 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 He said national grid. Okay, and he's Haitian. Okay, let's do this. So he said national grid and he's Haitian. Okay, he said national grid and he's Haitian. Okay, here we go. So where does look, follow the hand? Look, where does national grid operate in the U.S.? In the U.S., we provide the transmission of electricity in the northeastern U.S. as owner and operator of high voltage electricity transmission networks in upstate New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Vermont. I think I said that in my last video about this kid. He's not even in a major city area. He's in upstate New York, or he could be in Boston, in a suburb of Boston, or he could be in Rhode Island, or he could be in New Hampshire. I wouldn't say Vermont. Vermont is like, so, no, not Vermont, but he could be in upstate New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, or New Hampshire. He's one of these little fuckers who's not like, he speaks from a position of authority, but he's not even anywhere near a major city, most likely. If he's in Massachusetts, he's either in Randolph, fucking Lynn, Revere, what else? He's not like, You would think like he's from New York, like New York City, with the way he speaks with authority about his people. No, he's somewhere where he lives somewhere remote where it doesn't even fucking matter. Like, not that they don't matter in upstate New York. I would never say that. But what I am saying is he speaks from a position of authority where he acts like he competes at a high level. You get what I'm saying? And that's not the case. He's just some dumb little kid who father most likely got a little simple job in upstate New York or Massachusetts or Rhode Island. They own a little bit of real estate here and there. And that's it. It's nothing like grand as he projects, if that makes any sense. But that's just a little factoid that caught my ear when I was listening to him. I was like, oh, that's why you act the way you act. Like, you're a little fucking silver spoon motherfucker who lives like around deers and bunny rabbits. And I have people like that in my family on both sides. And they always speak with authority, except to me. They used to when I was a kid. But once I got older and I realized they don't know shit, like they don't know how this shit works, I said stop listening to them and they stop talking shit because they know if they say the wrong thing, I'm going to correct them, if that makes any sense. But let's get back to this video. We only have 5 minutes left. I think I may just end it in 2 seconds because we're at the 150 mark and this is too long anyway. But shit, I may not even post this shit because this shit, it's mind-numbing. Like, oh God.
And the bridges and the tunnels that you established for me. Thank you for this laptop and this iPhone. Thank you for the toilet paper so I can wash my ass. Thank you for the soap that I can wash my armpits so I don't smell like shit. Thank you, Mr. Generous White Man, Almighty Supreme White Man. Thank you. Even though I might, on the surface, I might come out and say I'm against you and you're my adversary and you're my enemy, but deep down, I really love you. Thank you. That's the mentality of the.
He's projecting. That's what they feel. That's what they feel. I can remember I saw a video with what's her name from fucking Avatar, man. What the fuck is that girl's name? Damn. She's so insignificant. I forgot her name. Okay, Zoe Saldana. I can remember Zoe Saldana, who's actually his neighbor because I think she's Dominican. And I'm a stickler, so let's double check that. So his neighbor was in an interview, and yeah, she's from Dominican Republic. But his neighbor, Zoe Saldana, was in an interview for some movie. It may have been Avatar for all I know, a long time ago. And she expressed her gratitude for moving to America, And I was like, wow. And I was in California at that time, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. I didn't know there was legions of these motherfuckers here, on the East Coast. I did not know that shit. So what he's saying is he's projecting, Damn, I can't find. I was going to find that video with Zoe Saldana. She most likely had that scrub from the internet, but she put on that Caribbean act like nobody's business. Damn. But yeah, he's projecting. That's what he's doing. That's all he's doing is projecting because that's how he feels.
These treating sheet dick suckers. Now let's continue.
You don't even understand. You don't even understand how much this argument, your argument, weakens your claim. Those are actually our resources too, but we forfeit our claim to them because we want to be up under the white man's nuts. It's retarded. JB has no idea what she's talking about. Shaking my head. Thank you, Deron. You're forfeiting your claim to billions and trillions of dollars of resources because you think that the white man is the Lord of the galaxy. He's not.
What is the infatuation with Tariq for you? I mean, there's other things just as worse out there that's taking place in America that's destroying the Black community. And why focus on Tariq?
Those things are not attacking Pan-Africanism the way Tariq does.
How does Tariq attack Pan-Africanism?
Well, if we had got to the video before you came in talking craziness, Tariq literally the first people he start attacking and blaming, those Pan-Africans brought the tethers and all this stuff. All he does is attack Pan-Africanism.
Because Pan-Africanism is an arm of white supremacy. It does us no good. Shut the fuck up.
That's the whole
I don't know.
problem.
I've listened to Tariq before, and I listened to
if
some of
Tariq
his.
didn't talk, if Tariq didn't talk anything about Pan Africans trying to disparage us and blame us for the fact that black people can't get ahead and can't get reparations, I would have no problem with Tariq. But when you come for Pan Africans, this is our political movement. This is our political ideology. You're not going to attack our shit and expect us to stand by and accept it.
All right, we back. I think that was the perfect way to end it. Big up to Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. At the end of the day, this is our political ideology. This is our political orientation. FBA, you are the opposition group. Just like in every country that exists, you have one political ideology, one faction, and then you got the other faction, the opposing faction. You're the opposition. It is what it is. You're the opposition, and we're going to continue to ride down on you because we're just more intelligent than you.
And that's exactly why I'm making this video. I sat back for years now just listening to these little fuckers run their mouth. So if you're the opposition to my people's upliftment, my people being Black American, then I'm your opposition, nigga. Come respond to me. I dare you to respond to me. I fucking dare you to respond to me, my nigga. I dare you, my nigga. Just shut the fuck up.
A lot of y'all niggas is just dumb, my nigga. Like, and on top of that, most of y'all is just old and gray and washed up, and your time is done. You 50 years old, you know what I'm saying? Y'all a bunch of throwbacks from the 80s and the 90s, my nigga. Like, y'all dumb as shit. Like, I'm telling you. And you would think that due to the fact that a lot of people in the opposing faction are up in age, in their 40s and their 50s and things like that, they would have more knowledge, more resources. They'll be more better equipped. But in fact, there's no competition. I mean, listen to this 50-plus-year-old woman and her knowledge of geopolitics and the landscape of society. And we know the majority of the people who support Tariq Nasheed are up in age because we saw the grand opening of the Hidden History Museum. That shit looked like a goddamn Boyz II Men concert. I guarantee the entire room probably smelled like a bottle of metformin. There's a bunch of washed up old heads trying to relive the younger days, the 80s and the 90s and shit like that, man. Listen, your time is done, man. Y'all ain't do shit with it. It's time for the young dudes up in the building, the young Pan-Africanists up in the building, the young international-minded Pan-Africanists getting money, doing our thing. We're more intelligent than you. We're more connected than you because we're all over the goddamn world. We got more money than you. And we actually have pride and dignity. And we ain't trying to suck the white man's nuts and ride his coattails and hop on his back, trying to get a piggyback ride off the back of white supremacy.
Shut the fuck up. You guys are everywhere, right? Let's do this, man. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm doing this shit to myself. Yeah, you guys are everywhere. You know, Nigerian run the world. Haitians run shit. Zopound. You know, but you're getting deported from every fucking way. I'm not even gonna bring up the screens I was gonna bring up to show the deportations and shit. You're being deported out of India. You're being deported out of Dubai. You're being deported out of all of the EU. And don't let me get started on the deportations out of America. Yeah, you're everywhere, but you're getting kicked out for a reason. You're fucking leeches. You're not doing anything. You've been here, like in America, you've been here a long time, and there's no fucking benefit to your presence, nigga. There's no benefit, really. Not at least when you like look at the cost benefit analysis. What little you give is nothing compared to what you receive. Okay, so you're not. It's like God a lot, and then don't let me get started on you little fuckers. Especially you fucking like black immigrant motherfuckers, especially in the Northeast. You motherfuckers are high on them fucking drugs like nobody's business, my nigga. That's why a lot of you niggas look like skinny fat. I don't know if you people, I don't know whoever's listening to this, if they know what that is. Like you got people who aren't fat and they're not skinny. You know, they got pudge, but they're not fat. That's a sign of drug abuse, and a lot of you motherfuckers are built like that in the Northeast. A lot of you. You know what I'm saying? If you're not skinny fat, then you're fucking skinny and emaciated. So shut that shit up. We're going to take over the future. I'm not going to bring up anything else. We're already at the 2-hour mark. Let me finish this shit. Oh, God.
So at the end of the day, man, it is what it is, man. It's your boy Never Card Desaline back in the building. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe. Cash App in the description. And I'm gone. Peace.
Oh, no. Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, that song. Your music is whack. Oh, shit. I can't believe I did that to myself. But yeah, man, if you're going to Cash App that nigga, if anybody Cash App that nigga, you're dumb. But you can Cash App me, nigga. Paraw 1411. PARAW 1411. But that's neither here nor there, man. But yeah, I can't believe I let this music play. Your music is trash, my nigga. I heard that shit. It's like that annoying shit where it's a bunch of babbling and it's just dumb shit. But yeah, I'm done, man. We're out of here, man. This is a video review. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you for your time. If you made it through, God bless your heart. I can't believe I did it. Thank you for doing this with me. Take care.